Listen, as entrepreneurs, you're most likely not going to be doing this alone. You're going to come across people along the way, maybe friends that are from your hometown, maybe partners that you meet along the way, whatever it is, you are going to be doing this with other people. And you have to know whether these people are in it for one, the long term mission on what your overall purpose is in doing the business, but two, are they in it to see you win as well? And vice versa. You should want to see them win as well. But over the last decade plus, I don't know, maybe this has gone on for centuries, I'm not sure, but I can only speak on my experience. I've seen it time and time again where people go into businesses and start businesses with friends or people that they met along the way with the intention of obviously doing good business with them and being completely loyal. But sometimes they find that that's not necessarily what happens. They find themselves in a position where they stick around too long in a business relationship or even a friendship, and it can end up costing you thousands of dollars. In my case, it cost me millions of dollars. Speaking from my own experience, I have dealt with those types of people. Now, I come from a small hometown, and the way I was raised was a little bit different. My father was the type to help out any one of his friends that are in need. So for me personally, I was the same way. I didn't see a world where loyalty didn't exist. I didn't see a world where if I help out a person within business and I help them grow, they want to help me grow as well. I didn't see a world where that didn't exist. However, that was far from the truth. Again, over the last decade, I've experienced things with multiple people that have cost me millions of dollars, lost business relationships, and long-term plays like a personal brand, hence what I'm working on now. But at least I can go ahead and bring these experiences to you in these videos. So it's very important that if you're on this path of entrepreneurship, you know what exactly to look for within people to make sure that you have a long-term striving business relationship and friendship, or whether you need to exit out of that as fast as possible. I'm going to dive into a few of the red flags that you might see, and if you do see those things, then maybe it's time to bounce. Cool, so now that we're jumping into this, I want to make it very clear. You guys are entrepreneurs. You guys are business owners. There's going to be times where there's ruts. There's going to be times where there's positions where you need to step up as an individual. And you do need to self-reflect and see if you're really the problem or not. Okay, so if you are actually the problem, make sure that you self-reflect on that and actually change those things. You might be the person that's not doing the things that you need to be doing as a friend or a business owner, business partner. But let's just say all those things are checked off and you are a person that's doing whatever it is that you should be doing. You are a loyal individual. You are a good business partner, a good entrepreneur, a hardworking person. You are all those things. Then how can you go ahead and spot the people that aren't within your organization or to you specifically? And I can only talk about you specifically because you're the one that's watching this video, not necessarily just a entire group. I want to gear this just towards you. So one of the first things is that they essentially only talk to you only when things are going well. Now, what does this mean? If you guys are partners, if things are not going so well, normally what people do is they come together, they discuss the problems, and they figure out solutions to the problem, right? But in this case, they're only talking to you whenever things are good. Only whenever you're producing or you're doing extremely well, which makes sense, obviously. Like if you're doing good, you're gonna have better conversations with the individual. But as I go more down this list, you're going to see other red flags that you should be able to catch that's going to allow you to see why number one is a red flag within a business owner that might not be as loyal to you as you think that they are. Number two, they take all your credit. That's good. But blame all the bad on you. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but even just with number two, number one now makes a lot more sense. Just with number two being there. If, and I've experienced this time and time again, I've had many times where this has happened. And to be frank, I mean, obviously it would make me quite pissed off, but obviously if you're in a working relationship and you're the one that's doing XYZ work, you should be recognized for that. But this individual will go, not talk to you if things are going bad, only talk to you when things are going good, and then will also take credit for the good that's happening. But if there's anything bad that ever happens, one, they don't talk to you, and behind your back, what they're gonna do is they're gonna blame all the bad things that are happening because of you. It's all your fault, right? Only the bad parts, though. Only the bad parts are your fault. All the good things that happen because of you are because of them. That doesn't make sense, right? So that is a major, major red flag, and maybe you've experienced it before. I know I have many, many times. Number three, when things are going well and they're talking to you, whatever, they spend all the money on themselves, but not on you. That, I mean, that's a self-explanatory. Now, if they're spending money on actually growing the business, and that is why you guys are not getting paid, that's a different story. But if they're throwing $30,000 birthday parties, if they're renting out a bunch of cars, if they're going to big expensive dinners without you, if they're paying off all their credit bills, credit card debt, and promising you the same in return, but when it comes to it being your turn, it never happens, that is a red flag. Obviously, they're going and just spending all the hard-earned cash within the business. And as business partners, if you guys are going to make money together, one, you should put the money back into actually growing the business, or two, if you guys are going to use it as a cash cow to go and have fun with it, both you guys should be having fun with it if you guys are business partners. Number four, literally treating you as if you have zero value. I mean, I don't know. That one's a pretty self-explanatory one, guys. Like, obviously, if you have zero value or if you have very little value and that's the way they treat you, I mean, you kind of have to self-reflect and be like, okay, cool, I need to work on myself. There's been plenty of times, especially when I was first getting into sales and learning sales, I've had people tell me I suck. Like, they've heard me on the phone and they're like, you suck. And I sat there, chuckled a little bit, and I agreed. I'm like, yeah, I know. Best believe within 6 months I was better than them. Okay, and they had openly admitted that. You have to be able to self-reflect on this point. If you have zero value or if you have very little value, you can't sit there and say you have tons of value when you really don't. So you really have to self-reflect on this. But let's just say you have tons of value, you're bringing in all the cash, you're doing a lot of the good within the company, or you're doing some good, or you're just doing your part. The stats show it, right? And they're still treating you like you have zero value. Red flag. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a really good business partner to be working with. Now, if you like that and it pushes you to become better because somebody's just treating you like, you're a nobody, I guess, then maybe it's a positive for you. But in most cases, this is not a good thing because they do not have the best intentions for you at heart. Number five, they plainly tell you that you mean nothing to them. If you stay after that, I don't know what to tell you. Actually, I do know what to tell you. Because that has happened to me before. I literally have had somebody that I considered a very close friend. And, we were talking about the idea of loyalty. I made this person tons of money. I made the company tons of money. I was the whole reason the company was even striving, the whole reason the company was winning. And I had to have a sit down because, again, all these things that are literally on this list, this person was doing. And when we had this talk about loyalty, about friendship, business partnership, winning together, making money with each other, I said, I just feel like our definitions of loyalty are a little bit different. I'm not sure what's happening here. He's like, yeah, it is. Our definitions are different. And right there and then, I should have packed my bags and walked out. But guess what? I didn't. And the reason why is because there was an emotional tie to it. Hence why this might be very hard for a lot of people. One, the business that you build, you might have an emotional tie to that. But the second thing is you might have some emotional tie to that person. You are actually loyal, right? You are there to stick it through with them thick and thin. But again, there has to be a point where you say enough is enough. Like, if people are just plainly telling you that you are nothing, they're plainly telling you that they are not loyal to you, then it's kind of just dumb that you're sticking around. And I get it. For the people that stick around, it's hard because you have a certain character, you have certain values where, you show your loyalty. But again, you have to know when enough is enough. And even for me, after that point, it took me years before I said enough was enough. Trust me, now I'm not loyal to that person. I can tell you that. Because after year 1, year 2, I should have realized these were all on that list and I should have dipped out. I should have not been loyal as long as I was. Okay? Loyalty needs to be reciprocated. And for the people that tell me that that's not loyalty, then if it needs to be reciprocated, no, dude, it is. It is loyalty to yourself, one. And two, you being loyal to a person that isn't loyal back to you, you're just a slave to the person. You're their peasant. Okay? That's not real loyalty. And you're not being smart. You have to let go of certain people. Especially if you want to progress. You can want the best intentions for the person, okay, and whatnot. But if they don't want the best intentions for you, you have to let them go. Number 6, they do nothing in the company or very little. Look, as you can see, as all these things on this list add up, it's starting to make a lot more sense what this individual is like. And maybe you're sitting there like, there's no way that even one person can have all these traits. Trust me. I've met people. I've experienced these people. They can have these traits. It exists. And they will literally do nothing in the company and pretend like they are. They're doing everything, or they're doing very little. Now, if you're the CEO and things like that, and you might be the CMO or COO, whatever that might be, you as a CEO still have a responsibility to do things. Okay? I've been the CEO of my own companies, and I've been a part of companies where other people are the CEOs. And if the people there are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they're just there to collect a check, but you are partners with them and you started that business with them, and they're doing nothing or they're doing very little in the company, that's not necessarily anybody that I would want to work with, especially if they have all these other traits. Okay. Now, if they don't have any of these other traits and they're doing nothing in the company and they're a good leader, sure, and they have the best intentions for you and things like that, cool. So number 6 might not necessarily fall into just a loyalty bracket. It might just be like a lazy bracket. But if you look at the rest of the list alongside with that, I would say then it falls under the bracket of whether the person's loyal to you or not. They're just using you. Get what I'm saying? Number 7, inviting others to company events, but not you. Tell me how that makes sense. You guys are partners within a company. You know, there's company events that are being held, or there's business dinners that are being held, and other people get invited that are also within the company, but you do not. Yeah. It's very hard for me to imagine this or even say this sometimes because it's almost unbelievable. It's almost like there's no way. Like, how can this even happen? And sometimes I'll explain it to people that are very young that haven't experienced it. I know people that are obviously seasoned within business and they have experienced some level of this. Okay. And I'm not just talking about number 7, I'm talking about the entire list. But if you're not getting invited to company events, maybe you don't need to be there. Fine. Whatever. Maybe you don't need to be at certain business centers. But if you see other people are there that don't need to be there, and you didn't even get an invite alongside with the rest of the things on this list, you are looking at a person that does not value you, that has zero loyalty to you. They have some kind of problem with you, whatever it is. Maybe you want to figure it out, go ahead, but I'm just giving you a list on how to spot these things, right? Number 8, when you speak highly of the person to others, I'm not even going to finish this, but they don't speak highly of you. Okay, so if you're going and speaking highly to people of this person, and let's just say you're speaking highly about this person, even with all these traits, and you're doing the parts that you should be doing within your company, and you're, keeping afloat for whatever you need to do for your specific job, and they aren't speaking highly of you, 2 things. Maybe you don't deserve to be spoken highly of. Maybe you just really have no value. Maybe you have very little value, and maybe that's just how it's assessed. I have a hard time doing the same thing. I have a hard time, I guess you could say, giving praise or giving, I don't know, words of affirmation to a person if I don't feel like they've actually been doing a good job. If they have been doing a good job, then I will. And when I say I have a hard time, trust me, I will find a thing or two to say about the person that's good that they've been doing. Like, I will say it. And obviously the enthusiasm level will come from how much of an impact it actually has on the business and how well they're actually doing. If it's not also good, then the impact of my words are going to be a lot less, and the energy behind it are going to be a lot less. But I'll still go and try and find something that's there. It is hard for me to say stuff if there's actually nothing there, though. Okay, so I do get that part. But if you're speaking highly of a person and they're not reciprocating it back, and you know that you've been doing a lot of good things, okay, other people see it, you know that you're bringing in majority of the cash within the business, or an area within your business is operating because of you, and it's operating really well, and it would not operate if it wasn't for you. This person isn't a real business partner to you. This person isn't a real friend to you. Number 9, ghosting. They will talk to everyone, text everyone, but you. And this comes kind of full circle. Okay, things are, if you look at number 1, talk to you only when things are going well, right? Things are going bad, don't talk to you. They completely ghost you. They will talk to everybody else but you. And again, it goes full circle. All the blame, they're probably talking to everybody, blaming you for all the reasons why things aren't going well within the company. Okay? And I really don't want to promote this idea of people not being loyal to you. That's not what I'm trying to promote at all. Because if there's people like me out there that exist that will be loyal, even to a person that wasn't loyal for as long as I was, like 10 plus years, I know that there's other people that are out there. And if a person actually just treated me correctly and other people correctly, then the idea of loyalty is going to last a lot longer. Okay, it should be forever. And again, I don't want to promote this idea of people that are unloyal or disloyal. It's just that there are people out there that are like this. So why is this important to know then? Why am I talking about it? Because again, it could be something that saves you a lot of missed opportunities. It could be something that saves you millions of dollars in the long run, especially if you stay with the people for a long period of time. You might miss out on a lot of money. Even if you stay with them for a short period of time, you might be missing out on thousands of dollars. You might be missing out on certain personal development within yourself, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever. You might be working yourself to the ground, not getting the validation that you actually need within the company. And you're thinking that you're a lot less than you actually are. And you're not getting rewarded or paid for the way that you should be. Okay? So that's the only reason I'm talking about this, because if you are actually an entrepreneur that's doing all the things that you should be doing as a business partner, as a friend, then you should have that reciprocated back to you as well. And if it's not being done to you, and you have all these red flags that are coming onto you, you have somebody that is leeching off of you, that's using you. Okay? So make sure that none of this is happening to you. And at the end of the day, you are an entrepreneur. You're going to figure things out. You know, you jump off a cliff without a parachute and you figure things out along the way, right? Yes, this can be a journey that gets lonely. Yes, it could be a journey that develops some trust issues, but you have to keep your heart open, because at the end of the day, in order for you to get as far as that you want to go, you have to put your trust in the people. You do. So again, I don't want to necessarily promote this as a thing that's just like this is the way you should be doing things, but this is more of a checklist to make sure that this isn't currently happening to you right now. And if it is, I'm telling you, you're going to save yourself a lot of years and a lot of money and a lot of more opportunities that are going to come your way if you just get out of this business relationship, this friendship. Okay, find some other people. So keep on going, guys, and remember, you're closer than you think.